Hey, thanks for checking in. I'm cooking up some fried eggs and pan frying my prepped pork chops and drinking water with lemon. How was your day today? I'm glad you're here. Now let's talk about a comic I've been reading. It starts out with 4 teenagers and their mentor, Silver Angel. The characters are Saber, Dragon, Monarch, and Firehawk. The teenagers are Earth's biggest rock band, and they're fighting an intergalactic mob on other planets. The mob is led by Mirror Vein. Mirror Vein has a stone in her hand. She uses it to wake up Muertes. The mask and the moves show that Muertes is a luchador, a masked wrestler. Muertes' name means 1,000 deaths. He's super strong and being controlled by a stone. If not for the stone, he would easily destroy everything in his path. Muertes is so strong that even the hero's mentor, Silver Angel, is no match. When the stone is dropped, Muertes is now uncontrolled. He then uses his mystical powers and possesses the guerrilla warriors and has an army to help with his destruction, including the people that summoned him. Now they have to decide on what to do while Muertes comes at all of them like a ton of bricks. Supergroup Go. Yes, that's the band's name. They have to intervene. They're not working as a team. And Muertes picks them off, one by one. Now what will they do when both the villains and the heroes are outmatched by a greater force? Carlos Espada is the creator and writer of Supergroup Go and many other works. Carlos Espada has written Indy 184, Pandora Box, When Love Dies, Gratitude Cards, Designed to Pass Along to Spread Love, Los Quotes, Rock and Roll BRAT and the Kids, Learning with Lucha Numbers, Learning with Lucha Alphabets, Learning with Lucha Colors, and of course, Supergroup Go Stand Up, Supergroup Go versus the Goon Squad, and Supergroup Go meets Muertes. Carlos Espada has illustrated children's books for other writers as well, such as Bath After Math, Who's at the Zoo, and What Makes Thunder and Lightning, and many more projects. Carlos Espada, also known as Los Espada, has went from wrestling to Kiss tribute bands for many years. Los Espada also has his own band called Revolt. Carlos Espada was even featured in a VH1 episode called Mark Rock to showcase behind-the-scenes touring of a Kiss tribute band. Carlos Espada has an uncanny resemblance to Gene Simmons in his Kiss makeup with vocals to match. In the past, he has worked for toy companies such as Art Asylum Toys and Diamond Select Toys. Carlos Espada said Supergroup Go is basically me taking rock and roll and mashing it up with everything I grew up with, like Battle of the Planets, Voltron, Godzilla, King Kong, and I wanted to make something that was not only fun, but it was kid-friendly. It was very important to me. That's why the first book is an anti-bully book. These books are to inspire children to to spark their imagination. Carlos Espada gets his aspirations from his father, that was also an entrepreneur. Carlos Espada grew up around traveling wrestlers that would sleep on his floors when they had a wrestling show near his home in Spanish Harlem, New York, to save money on hotels. George Espada and his brother were wrestlers. His father was called Silver Angel. Carlos Espada's mom even filled in for a female wrestling match when an opponent didn't show up, borrowing George Espada's large wrestling boots. George Espada was also in a band called Flash and the Dynamics. Silver Angel is a theme in many of Carlos Espada's creations to memorialize his father that is now passed on. Carlos Espada said he wanted to memorialize his father, the wrestler, and bring lucha libre to the forefront. Lucha is kind of like a superhero world. We don't show our identity. We go in the ring and do amazing feats. It ties lucha libre and rock and roll together. Bringing lucha to the States, I wanted to continue to showcase the pageantry of lucha, but also how remarkable the whole lifestyle is. The teenagers through lucha libre training are learning through Silver Angel to be better individuals and show their love of music. Mil Muertes from Super Cool Go is a real luchador. His names are Mil Muertes, King Mil Muertes, and El Mesías. Carlos Espada and Mil Muertes followed each other on Twitter, and Carlos messaged Mil Muertes and pitched him his comic issue. Mil Muertes wrote back, "Call me." King Mil Muertes said, "Why not?" And that's where it all started. Mil Muertes, who has been wrestling for so many years, immortalized in a comic, and now branching off into drinks as well. Carlos speaks about how the mask is tradition and in high regard. The mask means something to each persona. You don't just grab a mask and put it on. You design your mask and you put it on, and it's from who you are within. Your soul is what you get from your mask. Rodolfo Ledesma, known as Rolo, is the illustrator of all the issues of Supergroup Go. He has done illustrations for Phony Baloney, Debbie and Dallas, Indie Destroys, The Goon Squad, Mimi's Friends in New York, and Mimi's Friends in Canada, and many more. Rolo Ledesma has created and illustrated Curves and Bullets. As a young kid, he loved reading Hulk and Iron Man. Hulk was actually one of the first comics Rolo Ledesma read to help him learn to read when he was very young, and he never looked back. Rolo Ledesma can draw so fast with a hand like lightning. He can do multiple sketches in one sitting and can be seen in sketch session gatherings, doing sketches right before your eyes. Rolo Ledesma's mom, Clara Ledesma, was a fine artist and very influential person in Rolo's life. His mom is recognized for her style of surrealism, abstraction, and expressionism. His mom told him to create his own style. It'll make you stand out. And Rolo knows that. Eventually, as you get older, he said, your style will even get better. Rolo Ledesma said having a mom who was an artist influenced him a lot, even when he was drawing. She always said, You have your own style. Don't imitate what I do. You like comics? Stick with comics. Rolo said my mom was so influential. She backed me up from comics to graffiti to artwork. Los Espada and Rolo Ledesma are honoring their family's legacy and now making their own mark while hopefully steering the next generation to shoot for their dreams. Check it out.